If you have ever thought to yourself, man, I would really like to have something like a 180 or a 200 or 220 gallon reef aquarium in my house, well, there's a lot that goes along with that. And in today, I take you with me as I maintain my 180 gallon reef. Well, we're starting out the day with a little bit of a problem. This has been going on for a couple of weeks now. There we go. Got some green hair algae in here. Green hair algae is sort of a generic term, right? It's like saying, oh, we have a Ford truck over here. But it doesn't really describe the exact species of what we have going on. So I'm pretty sure we're talking to some other people and looking under the microscope and whatnot, that this is just Derbesia, which is like the plain old normal stuff people associate with green hair algae. Initially, I thought that it was because my nitrates and phosphates were out of whack because I went to Polo Reef and my skimmer got screwed up because there was a snail stuck in the intake of the skimmer. But that wasn't what's going on, I don't think. And I did a recent ICP test that showed that my dissolved organic compounds are quite high. The range is 2 to 8, mine are 8.3, which is telling me that the precursors to the actual nutrients in my tank are what's high, not the nutrients themselves, because I'm managing those through the normal means of doing so. And so I figured that I would just take you guys on a little tour of what it's like to be me for a day. So in order to get the DOCs sort of under control or whatever, all the important crap is going to happen right back here in the fish room, which obviously is a bit of a mess. So come with me as we get it cleaned up. You know, normally I use this little 10-gallon tank down here for my water changes, but I don't think that those are going to be enough to really drop the DOCs enough in this tank. So we need to get this area cleaned up where I can bring my 55-gallon drum in here and start the process of making 55 gallons of water. So let's get going. You know, it's a little bit stupid after you've been doing this for as long as I have, all the crap that you accumulate. This is literally a bag full of junk. There's overflows in there. There's car polish in there, which I have no idea why it's in there. But there's a battery operated bubbler. There's friggin' overflow bulkheads. This is an entire bag of stuff from another tank. And then the dang locker is just an absolute mess of everything right now, and it goes up there. This is silly. This is literally a bag with just a bit of live sand left in it, which is probably not live anymore. And yeah, it's just rolled up. I don't know. I don't know. Too much stuff. Literally just way too much stuff. This is another thing that I need to fix that I just haven't had time to do. I mean, this is an absolute mess over here. You know, this thing right here went out. So I got this one to replace it with, which goes under there. But I have to take all of this apart to be able to get this up there. And it's not going to match because it's white, but whatever. But yeah, just little crap like this that takes an hour to do that job. I don't have... This is another thing that I've just kind of let go. When I reset this thing to the macro algae tank the other day, I wanted to just kind of let it mature a little bit before I started cleaning everything up and keeping it looking nice, you know. So there's copepods literally all over this. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Those are breeding copepods right there. You can see they kind of have two little balls or whatever, you know, body. That's an egg sac on the back of that pod right there. There's another one right there. This one doesn't have an egg sac, so yeah, it can move around quick like that. But yeah, sorry about the shaking. It's really hard to hold this still. But yeah, need to get this cleaned up. It's looking beautiful otherwise, though. That looks a whole lot better. So there are corals in here for now. They're going to get moved into the main display eventually, but it ain't quite time to do that yet. Got a few different kinds of macroalgae in here, but I'm going to be getting sent more of those by Amanda, the macro lady. And I always leave the back glass fuzzy. I just leave that back there. I don't clean it or anything. It lets the copepods do what they need to do. Yeah, it looks a little ugly, but I don't really care. And anyway, this is like a Refugium tank anyhow, so it's going to be fine. You know, doing things after having a back surgery. or actually 2 back surgeries, really kind of changes the way that you have to do stuff. I have to sit down on a chair to do things like this because bending down to the ground is just not an option sometimes. It's probably definitely time to change these again. Oh yeah, that one's completely full and this one isn't far behind, so that's next. This is all I use. I've been using this stuff for 20 years. I mean, it's like $5 for a bag of this, and I can swap these things out probably 5 or 6 times with one bag of this versus filter socks. It's just crazy. And it's like for like 1 month worth of filter socks for this tank is like $40, and I have to save money wherever I can. So this is just super thin quilt batting, and I'm going to cut a piece off about that big and then basically just roll it up and shove it in there and sort of make it into a filter sock type of shape. So, you know, I mean, you do what you can where you can. I'm doing this thing on a budget, even though, you know, it's a big 180 gallon tank, 250 total volume. You got to save money where you can. That's one. Go ahead and roll out this other one, and then we'll have just enough left probably to make sure that it's got the right amount of flow. Sometimes these don't want to come out of here. They got to get in just the right spot. I designed them very tight. Let me wrestle with this. There we go. Now, we'll let the water drain out of that, and then we'll swap this out. All right, the skimmer looks like it's working pretty good, so it's still got a lot of room left. I'm not going to bother with messing with that today. It's rocking and rolling and taking out the stuff that it needs to take out. So, all right. I 3D printed these baskets, so these are pretty cool. They got a little funnel at the top that funnels the water sort of into the middle, and you can sort of see how this becomes like a filter sock. It's just way thicker and pulls out a lot more crap. So now I have to get this. Now I have to get this out of here. There we go. I always try to check them for amphipods that I can throw back into the tank and whatnot. But I mean, that's proof right there how well this works. There's one. This is why I check my socks, because of this little guy right here. If I can get him off without hurting him. Look at that. That's a little stomatella snail. It's not wanting to focus right there because of the light, but that's what that is. So he's going to go over into the Refugium tank over here. All right, so that little dude right there on my pinky, let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. That is an amphipod, and it's a great little cleaner animal. It's part of the cleanup crew. They're really awesome to have in the tank, and they're also free fish food, so that's really cool. Oh, this sock has quite a bit of them, actually. So let's grab as many as we can and get them over into the frag tank. Or rather, the Refugium tank. Wow, look at that. Where'd he go? He's right down there on the inside. It's another baby stomatella. Oh, there's a bunch of them in here. They're apparently breeding in this filter basket. All right, so the way that I do this is I take this big square piece, right, and I fold it basically into like 4s, and then I shove it down into the middle of this basket that I made, just like that. And then I kind of mess with it and spread it out and fluff it up, and eventually it becomes a sock sort of shape in there. Kind of like that. I'm going to try a new method on this one. So I have this thing opened up all the way, and I'm going to try to do multiple sort of, I don't know, accordion kind of style stuff. I think that actually worked quite a bit better doing it that way. So we'll leave that one in there, and I've got that extra piece we're just going to put in that one. People have been using this stuff for decades instead of like filter stocks as filter polishing material, stuff like that. So I'm not worried about it causing any problems or anything. I've personally also been using it for decades. And right now I'm trying to strip as much dissolved organics out of this tank as I can. So I want this sock, this one in the front here, I want it to actually trap as much stuff as possible. So there we go. Now you saw how much I packed in there, and you can see that the water is still going down the funnel. It's still going down through that filter material. It's not spilling over the top coming into the other one. So even though I put all that in there, the water's still flowing through it, but it catches so much stuff. It's ridiculous. And by the way, these things fit in a 7-inch filter sock opening, and I do sell them on my Etsy store if you want to get some for yourself. They do take a while to print. So yeah, keep that in mind, but I do sell them. Time to go out to the shed. We got a mess back here because we've been ripping out old carpets. This is Juno, family dog. Hey, Juno. But anyway, we gotta go out here and get this freaking drum. All right. And there it is. It's probably dirty. That is in fact the case. Now we have to clean it. It's been nasty and wet out here, so I don't want to drag it across the yard. So I have to pick the stupid thing up. But yeah, fun stuff when you have, you know, a 180-gallon aquarium. It's like 250 total volume. You got to take care of. Your water changes are done in 55-gallon buckets. It's freaking cold outside and nasty and wet. And I don't feel like dealing with that. You know what's so weird? As I recover from this back surgery, I find myself able to do stuff like this, you know, and like pick this up. This is fine. But if I have to bend over and tie my freaking shoes, that's a problem, dude. Like, I mean, I can pick this up and do what I've got to do, but getting down on the ground is an issue. As with everything that we do, everything has to stay nice and clean. So this has been out in my shed. There's been sawdust and things. And so we got to get it washed out, wiped out, all that stuff before we can start using this for my water change. It really is a bit of a different experience when you're dealing with a bigger tank, because you find yourself in a situation where you're inside your water change drum rather than just having it sitting next to the tank. In the future, my plan is to actually set this thing up with automatic water changes, probably with like 2 40-gallon tanks or something like that. I'm not there yet. These are the these are the kinds of things that people don't often talk about when you start discussing setting up a tank of this size. It's not just keeping a 200-gallon tank. It's all of the other crap that goes along with keeping a 200-gallon tank that becomes the excessive part of it. There's a lot. And now I'm tired. Might as well work on straightening that up too. So we'll slide this over here. There's always more to do. I was already filling up my ATO, so I'm just going to take my RODI line out of there and go ahead and just clip it onto here. This is going to take 57 years to fill up. I think the last time I ordered an RODI membrane, they sent me the wrong one. So I think it's a 50-gallon per day membrane and not a 100-gallon per day one. So this is probably just going to be running like this till this time tomorrow. It is what it is. But let's go ahead and take a TDS reading just to make sure that the RODI is functioning as it should. So it was at 7 TDS, which is way higher than I like it to be. I always change my filters whenever it gets to 1 TDS. I don't really know what happened because it went up from 0 to 7 in a week. Last week I checked it when I was running it and it was 0. This week it's at 11. You know, I did notice the other day when I was getting something to drink, I actually just ran some water in the faucet in the kitchen, and I don't normally do that. I usually get it out of the fridge, out of the thing. But I ran it in the kitchen and I smelled the chlorine, and I commented to my wife they must have, you know, done something with the water filtration plant or whatever. They must have changed something because you can smell the chlorine in it. Sometimes it's worse than other times. And I bet they made those changes and it probably cooked my DI resin, which looks fine, but obviously it isn't. So just one more expense. Let's go take a look. I mean, it's hard to tell. There's a lot of air bubbles in that though. And there's a separation right there too. Yeah, I think that DI is cooked. The silica buster looks okay. It's still doing its thing, I think, but we're going to go ahead and change the DI and the silica buster. I needed a pair of side cutters to cut all those zip ties, so back to the shed. My shed is an absolute mess because we just built it and moved everything out of the garage out here to the shed. And so, yeah, don't really know where anything's at, but I found them. So that's amazing. Oh, it's a good boy. What you doing, Juno? Huh? What are you doing, buddy? You just out here napping in the cold wet? No. Oh, good morning, Minus. How are you, sir? Hope you're having a good day, too. Hello, Wheatley. This guy's blind, pretty much, so you have to be careful with him. You want your ears scratched? Oh, yeah, that feels good. That feels good. Yep. Well, I touched outside and the dogs, so now I have to wash my hands again. I am really very much hoping that I will be able to get this out of here and this onto here without too much trouble, but I don't know. And hopefully without unplugging all kinds of stuff too. You know, the thought has just occurred to me that that power strip is dead now. It's no good. And it's unplugged from the other side of the wall. What if I just cut the cord for the power strip and just left it in the bundle? I mean, it's kind of janky, you know, but honestly, I don't think that would be a problem, and it would save me a whole lot of work, and my back hurts already. So we're going to go make sure it's unplugged, and that's what we're going to do. Of course, when I say that, it's on the other side of the wall under the aquarium down here in this mess that also needs to get cleaned up. Listen, guys, I'm not perfect, okay? I have so many projects. All right, we are under the tank, and that is verification. It is, in fact, not plugged up under here. So, yeah, I think we can just snip that and pull it out. I just noticed when I stood back up that on the bottom of this zoophrag, if you guys can see it right there, that's a vermitid snail shell. It's not in focus very well because I had to zoom kind of far. Right there, yeah. Well, got to take care of that too. Fortunately for me, I needed my drill the other day, so I don't have to go back to the shed. It is kind of an interesting thing, though, the way that I have this set up, because all of my entire system is run off of this one power strip. So, and it's all through Hydros, so it's through my phone on the app and all that stuff, right? But if I had some sort of really crazy, ridiculous emergency where I need to shut the whole system off at one time, that's it. The entire system is shut down now. Back to the shed. Yeah, I think that'll do. Had to fight that a bit, but it's on there now. Man, I don't know why that was so hard. All right, well, let's go take a look. So this is my control center. This is how everything's looking now. We got the new power strip installed. Everything is looking nice and neat over here. There's a few wires that are going places to pieces of equipment that I have to take out and clean regularly. So those ones aren't tied up in with everything else. But I got to turn the heater back on up there. But otherwise, that's like command central. So yeah, things are looking up. Well, that's a problem. So I guess we'll be getting a new valve for my RODI unit as well. Well, I've decided, since both I have high TDS in my RODI unit and that valve is also leaking, then I'm going to go ahead and order the crap that I need to order to just fix that the right way and, you know, do it how it should be done, not get in a hurry. It'll be here in a day. I can start my change water then. This is just fresh RODI that I ran into here in preparation for a water change. But this little 10-gallon tall tank is not going to get the job done anymore. We're going to have to stick to this blue drum until these DOCs come down. So I'm going to just stick this over in the ATO reservoir, and we'll get this out of the way. It really does seem with this hobby, there's always something else to clean. I'm so tired of cleaning stuff, man. And there you have it. That is a day in the life of me and what I have to deal with taking care of this 180-gallon tank. This is pretty much what I do every weekend. Sometimes there's a little bit less going on than what you saw in this video, just because I hadn't cleaned that room out in quite some time, and that needed to get done. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if it's your first time seeing my channel, I usually do instructional videos and teach people about saltwater aquaria and how to do this thing. But if it's your first time here, consider subscribing, and yeah, maybe you'll learn something from one of my future videos. Thanks.